Hey everybody, welcome into the show this week. Midwest Mike's coming back at you.
How we doing?
We are back in the Midwest after being in Florida. I was down there for about a week, and I didn't want to leave.
I didn't want to leave either. I mean, we got back as well. It was cold. It's not that bad. It was like, when we left down there, it's probably like 80 degrees every day. You got back here, it was like, I think that day like 40 degrees. I was like, yo, I'm done. But I did sleep. After that bachelor party, I did sleep about 10 hours that day. So,
Yeah, it was nice to get home and get some rest, but the weather was perfect. It was like 80 degrees every day, like no humidity. Perfect weather the whole time we were in Florida, so it was a good time.
all good.
All good. So while we were gone, the Chiefs did do a big trade with the Rams out in L.A. They traded Marcus Peters, who is a two-time Pro Bowl player at corner, the Chiefs' number one corner. Traded him to the Rams along with the Chiefs' 2018 sixth-round pick. Chiefs get back a 2018 fourth-round pick and the 2019 second-round pick. So there's been a lot of hate on social media that I have seen about this trade and why they would trade their number one corner for really a fourth and a second. Chiefs fans, most Chiefs fans that I've talked to or I've heard from have to say there's something else going on behind the scenes. What do you think?
Well, I think there has to be. I think you have two camps on this trade. Well, actually, maybe a third. I know one for sure is don't understand the trade. Feels like he's sold. If you were going to sell him, maybe you wait till his final year of his contract to do that. And you also sold him. It feels like you sold him low. Honestly, I had read there was two teams. The reason they only got a fourth and a seventh was that there was, a fourth and then next year's second, was that there was only two teams that actually responded to any phone calls or anything. So that, I mean, the price wasn't going to be high for him. There's not a big bidding war or anything for like that. So the first camp, I would say everyone's a little bit confused and hates the trade. And then the second camp, I would say a big one is also not really understanding why we made the trade. Because cap-wise, doesn't make sense. Value-wise, really doesn't make sense. And then third camp is probably a little smaller that understands the trade. And I don't understand the trade myself. I mean, I understand what happened and everything. And like you said, there's got to be something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Has to be something to do with Clark Hunt that I don't know. I don't know. Marcus Peters is not like. I mean, he's not exactly. He's a hothead for sure. You know, he got some penalties, some dumb penalties this year. But overall, his play is phenomenal. I think Pro Football Focus had him ranked as 8th best corner in the league this year. And in the past, I think he's been higher than that. So he's a top 10 corner and sold pretty low. So it's really hard to make sense of the trade. Now the Chiefs did the writing was kind of on the wall because the Chiefs had signed a corner the week before from the Raiders, or he played for the Raiders last year, and he's a decent enough corner. But I guess that's who they think the replacement is, or they're going to try to draft somebody, which maybe that was their plan. I'm not sure. The only other thing I can think of is that Peters is not really a bump coverage guy, and our defense is primarily the bump stuff. So, I mean, that might be it. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's crazy. I think that top 10 corners don't grow on trees. And if you have a guy who can take away half the field passing-wise and cover their number one guy and limit him in the game, in his catches, in the targets, then I think you've got to stick with that guy. Now, I get, some people are saying, yeah, Peters got some penalties. He threw some flags. And my argument to that is, well, Travis Kelce got penalties. Travis Kelce got kicked out of a game.
Not trading him away.
Yeah, they're not trading him. So, hey, what's the difference in these two guys? Why is, things that Kelce's doing excusable and not seen as a hothead, but Marcus Peters is seen as a hothead? So, I mean, that's my thing. I think that corners that are that good are a commodity, and I think the Chiefs should have kept him. But like you said, the market evidently wasn't real high if only 2 teams are taking calls about him or even responding to calls. So, what is the deal with Marcus Peters that we don't know as fans that got him shipped out of town?
Because all those guys talk behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
All the GMs they call each other. They talk behind the scenes. You kind of saw some of that if you watch. I mean, it's not the same sport. You kind of saw that in Moneyball, where Brad Pitt's playing Billy Beane, and he's talking to GMs every day about players. 9 times out of 10, nothing happens, but they're always gauging. So a top 10 corner is up on the trading block. They call every single team, and only 2 teams go for him. So there's something going on.
Yeah.
Now, would I take him, and do I give props to the Rams for making the move? Yeah. And I just saw that the Rams are actually still thinking about keeping Tremaine Johnson, which is their other all-pro corner. So the Rams are going for it.
And Wade Phillips, in Wade Phillips' defensive scheme, if he's got a corner that can lock down half the field, if he's going to play with 2 all-pro corners, I mean, it's going to be lights out. He'll be sending the house.
Well, he had that in Denver.
Yeah.
He had Harris Jr. and Talib. And they killed it.
Yes.
And he also had...
And he had DeMarcus Ware coming off the edge.
Not really, yeah. He had DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller. I mean, that defense put together really nice. He had a good safety with Ward. I mean, with 2 corners like that, yeah. They're going to be nasty next year.
And, people are saying a 4th-round pick, you can't get a good player. I think we really can't judge this trade for a couple years because we got to see who the Chiefs get. I mean, some notable 4th-round picks, and this is not an extensive list by any means, but I did find 3 Hall of Fame players that were picked up in the 4th round. John Stallworth, 1974, wide receiver for Pittsburgh. Charles Haley, defensive end by the San Francisco 49ers. He's a Hall of Famer. And Harry Carson, a linebacker with the New York Football Giants. 3 Hall of Famers that were selected in the 4th round. So you can find some talent in the 4th round. Jared Allen, another guy who in 2004 the Chiefs got in the 4th round. Rich Gannon by the New England Patriots in 1987. He was picked in the 4th round. Darren Sproles, 2005, running back for the Chargers. Joe Theismann in 71, quarterback for Miami. So you can these are quality players that played in the NFL that were all picked in the 4th round. So it depends what do the Chiefs do with that 4th round pick this year.
Right.
Are they going to get a quality player? Are they going to get a guy that can come in and maybe not start and help them this year, but can be a cornerstone for this franchise going forward?
Well, they were looking at something. I mean, these guys have draft boards drawn up, a couple months before the draft goes, and they're messing with it. So I don't know if they see something in the 4th round and they think they can get something, or I don't know what they're doing, but I don't know. Or maybe they try to turn that 4th round pick into something else.
Yeah, who knows? So, I mean, obviously that's just a few picks in the 4th round. There's 32 of them every year, and most of them are not going to hit. But these are a few that have for teams. So maybe the Chiefs have a guy in mind that can be a cornerstone for the franchise. Another they can get in the 4th round.
Yeah. Another interesting thing to watch, too, would be how Peters plays in a different system. I talk about that. I've said that before, man. I think a lot of guys are system guys. So is Peters good enough to transition into playing? Because Wade Phillips and Sutton's system are different.
Mm-hmm.
Wade Phillips is
more of a man corner guy.
Yeah, and Sutton's really aggressive too. It's a little different, but Wade Phillips is very aggressive. So maybe that aggressive stuff will go. And like I said, Wade Phillips is smart. So Wade Phillips is smart. So I think he'll do a good job. He did a right job there. He started there 2 years ago, and they've been all right. And I just think the Rams are poised to do something nice.
They are.
The only thing for them is that the NFC is getting tougher, and they got another franchise quarterback in the NFC West too.
Yep.
So that's just getting tough. NFC West.
And I would think their 2nd round pick that we're going to get, the Chiefs are going to get next year, is not going to be a high 2nd round pick because the Rams, you'd think, are going to make the playoffs next year, and so that puts them in the bottom half.
Right, so you get
for picks.
So you get a bottom half 2nd round. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is a little weird.
Yeah.
And
there has to be something else going on that we don't know about. But anyway, we could talk about that all day. But we'll move on to something a little more timely this time of year. And that is the Big 12 tournament, which will kick off here in Kansas City this Wednesday coming up. The seeding for the Big 12 tournament just came out within the last hour. KU got the number 1 seed, no shock there. Texas Tech, the number 2. West Virginia, the 3. 4 is Kansas State. 5 is TCU. 6 is Baylor. 8 is Oklahoma State. 9 is OU. Missed 7. 7 was Texas. And 10 is Iowa State. So there's your 1 through 10 matchups. The first game to kick off the Big 12 tournament on Wednesday will be Oklahoma State, the 8-9 matchup. Who you got in that one?
Well, see, I like. I'll go Oklahoma. I think Trae Young turns it around. He hasn't played so hot lately, but I think he will this tournament. It'll be his time to shine, and I think OU is actually a little bit dangerous to play because if he's hitting, I mean, they were on a roll for a while. If he's hitting, they're going to win. It's basically their whole team depends on how he plays.
And I think Oklahoma and Trae Young have to win this game in order to get in the big dance. They cannot have a first round exit in the Big 12 tournament and expect to get in the field of 64. So
I think you're right.
I'm going OU there. I think they got to win that game, and I think Trae Young shows up, has a big game.
Yeah, also with OSU riding high, or Oklahoma State riding high on beating Kansas today.
In a meaningless game.
And they're all, I think it'll, I don't know, I'm a big kind of law averages guy, so I think, they have a great game today. They played well. And Kansas also I think they were looking ahead a little bit, for sure. Mm-hmm. And, but so as a Kansas fan, I would tell them, don't even worry about today's game at all. I'm sure they're not, but don't even think about it. I mean, it sucks, but I mean, it's all good. But yeah, moving on to the next game.
Next game would be Texas and Iowa State, the 7-10 matchup. Who you like there?
I'll take a Texas. I think got more talent, and Iowa State's really played inconsistent all year. Actually, Iowa State's played pretty bad all year, so I'll go with Texas.
I'm gonna go the upset here. I'm gonna go Iowa State to upset Texas, and because I think their fans will pack the Sprint Center, and it will be Hilton South.
That's a good point.
And
they do every year.
They do it every year, and I think that they come out here in Kansas City and get the upset over Texas.
Now, see, when they played Texas this year,
even though they are the lower seed, but I'm still picking them for the upset.
Here we go. Let's see. When they played Texas this year, they got beat by 16, and they got beat by 4. Hey, it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times. So we'll just have to wait and see there. So then Thursday, to kick off the action, you have the 4-5 matchup with Kansas State versus TCU.
It's a good game.
Good game. 4-5 matchup. Who you got?
I'll go K-State. I like the way that TCU. I was going to say they play tough. TCU actually plays pretty tough too. I like K-State though. I also think K-State is for some reason a lot of people act like these guys are I've seen some social media, some K-State fans kind of feeling like the bubble team. Or I think K-State's in. I think they're in the tournament.
Oh, I think K-State's in also, and I think a win there helps solidify that. I think TCU's in also.
Yeah, I think you're right too. So who do you got? K-State also? Is that right?
I got K-State also winning that game. So, yeah. Then the next game would be your number 1 seed Kansas playing either OSU or OU. Both of us picked OU to win that game. So